little bit early. If you guys could tell me, use the chat section. Please don't use the Q&A section. Use the chat section and let me know that you can hear and see me okay. That would be great. I'll go ahead and it's already enabled. You should see that right in front of you. Also, guys, and I'll probably repeat this throughout this, you're going to want to take that file download. You should see that on your screen where you can download a file. Take that. That's going to be an overview of the programs that we have and the upcoming Black Friday sale. No, guys. Sorry, I've got some puppies and one of them's a new puppy. Anyway, no, definitely download the file download that you have in front of you. Download that file download, please. Any and all questions are fair game. We'll answer them in full. We will take care of those in full. And we have a Black Friday coming up. That'll be November the 29th on Friday, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern time. It's going to go through Monday, or rather Sunday night, December the 1st at 10 p.m. Eastern time. And that'll be the only time you can purchase any of the training courses, any of the programs from us for November and December. After that, you're going to have to wait till January 1st. There's a special bundle that'll be on there. There's probably a link in the file download in front of you that you can get to. There will be limited availability on a special bundle that Jeff put together, a surplus funds bundle that has in it a couple of different surplus funds programs you're just gonna love. Check out the site, surplusfundsriches.net. You can click on products and there'll be a link there. Once you put your information in, there'll be a link there that'll take you to the Black Friday sale. A lot of information, products information on that page you can download to go over that. Pricing will also be up. There will also be an add-on option on there, but pricing's up. And the big announcement is in January 2023, we launched a program called Panning for Hidden Surplus Funds. That has, over the last 2 years, has made up a little over 55, maybe even 60% of our deals coming in. It's going after mortgage overages where you cannot get a mortgage overage list, about 22 states. And in those states, the foreclosing attorney handles not only the foreclosure, but also the disbursement of surplus funds. And as a result, you can't get a list. So we teach you how to estimate a surplus funds mortgage overage list in those 22 states. We will partner with you. We give you 40% of that. You have to create your own list. We teach you how to do that. That's called the Panning for Hidden Surplus Funds program. Teach you how to create your own list, and you can turn that into us. And after you've researched that, fill out a worksheet. We will find them, call them, mail them, put the deal together, hire the mobile notary and the attorney, and give you 40% of our net on that. That is a stupid good deal. We have not offered that by itself since January 1st of 2023. It was a one-day sale. You can only typically get it in the Diamond Bundle, which is hugely, it's $24.97. It will be offered by itself for $11.97. There's going to be a special bundle available only for the sale. It's only going to be 5 of them sold for $7.97. The Panning for Hidden Surplus will be offered for $11.97. Haven't been able to get it without buying the Diamond until now, since January 1st of 2023. There's going to be only 3 of those sold, 5 of the bundle sold. So you're going to want to come here early. 29th is when it starts, Black Friday at 8 p.m. or rather, 10 a.m. Eastern time. And you need to get there early. All right, let's take a look at chat. Got a lot. Wow. Here you see you. Hi guys. Looking sound great or good. Hi, Sean. Can see and hear just fine. Love the puppies. How's puppy life going on my 2 of them? Yeah, I'm waiting on someone to stump you, LOL. Hey, CJ, it's been done before. Trust me, we've been stumped. I've had to get back to people before because I'm not going to BS you, if I don't have the answer for something. But typically, if I don't have the answer, Jeff has the answer. He handles the front line. I handle attorneys for surplus funds retrieval and realtors and deals for our flips. Jeff handles the front line training and underwriting all the files. So he knows more than I do the actual day-to-day and the process on how to, apply your programs. Let's see, Jeff, Black Friday sale starts Friday, November the 29th. More info here. He's got the link right there in front of you guys. Click on that. You need to, if nothing else at the bottom, there's also, if you think you're going to forget it, it's Black Friday, but still, if you think you're going to forget it, especially if you want to get one of those limited special deals, There's a place where you can sign up at the bottom, and that'll get you email and text reminders of the sale. Benjamin, I saw the surplus funds motion was granted for Dorleen. Do you know when it will pay out? I have no idea, Benjamin. I'll have to check that. That's the type of thing you probably want to send me an email about on the side, and I'll check on that for you. We did get 3 files. We're getting the checks in tomorrow at the attorney's office, or I should be able to pick them up. 3 more files. Last name Pete, Beete. Lord Davis. And that was a long time ago. We put that on the contract. Texas for a while there was giving us trouble. We finally worked that out. I think it was Randy. And then there was a 3rd file, and I've actually got them in my bag, so I may pull those out in just a second just to make sure. Alan says, hola from Colombia. Hola, Alan. Carol says, hi from Reno, Nevada. Love the pups. Don't have a choice tonight. The one is having difficulty right now for getting her potty training, so I'm trying to keep an eye on her a little better. I apologize, guys. I'm not trying to be unprofessional. I got to watch these guys. Any and all questions are great. Remember, this sale has the limited items in it. We have had quite a few people sign up for it, so I do think it's going to be over probably early. I do think I sent out to some people at least an email that had incorrect information about it ending on Monday. It's not. It's only going through Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, starting at 10 a.m. on Friday. And then again, the next time you'll be able to buy any program from us, period, will be January the 1st of 2025. Hi, Sean. Any thoughts on the title search platform DataTree? It's part of First American. So, Michael, I know that, guys, if you're doing this yourself, you're welcome to use whatever tools you find online that you feel comfortable with. I'm not familiar with that. If Jeff wants to chime in, jump in and say something about that, he's moderating. That's my business partner. We've been together about 20 years. Anyway, if he wants to chime in, that's great. I don't know anything about that. I do know that, guys, if you're going to partner with us and send us information in for us to, in other words, you research the debt and send that in on our worksheet, we do not take third-party title work. So we teach you how to do it. It's not hard. If there's anybody out there right now watching this that has had difficulty figuring out how to do title work with the ebook, there is an example file at the end of the partnership section of the ebook in most instances. Do that actual file. Plug that name in just like Jeff did in the example. Do all that work, and that'll really help you guys figure out how to do this and get you past any and all obstacles you have. Obviously, we have built-in email-based support, but if you just do that example file, I promise you everything else will fall in place. Josh, when working with the 597 National Surplus Funds Program for 8%, are we assigned to county? That's a great question. Or do we have free reign over where we research? You can go anywhere. And the cool thing is, Josh, we wanted to make sure that nobody wasted any time. So you get an ebook, that's PDF, it's text, right? Read that twice for comprehension. Do the example file at the end of it. And there's also a link in there with a password that'll take you to an online resources page. And on that resources page, you'll be able to watch additional video training. There's also, of course, submission information if you want to partner with us and turn files in. But there's also an active files list. That's all of our active files. That's updated Monday through Friday. So before you research anything, you're going to take the names off of whatever list you get, take your names off of that, plug that in, search our list to make sure we don't already have that file. That way you're not researching files that you already have. And that way that eliminates the thing where, it used to be years and years ago before we did this, people will turn in a file and we go, hey, I'm sorry, but we already had that one. And you know as well as I do, people are going to go, oh, okay, did he just take that file from me? You know what I mean? Did he really have that or not? And we got a good bit of that. All right, Alan, I don't mind paying for the list you have for sale, but can you say how many have purchased in case they're worked over already? So there should be in the terms and conditions when that was last updated. We have that open to the public. We want people, even people that don't have our program, to understand how easy it is to get a list and have an idea of the opportunity out there. But as far as worked over, again, you got the active files list you can check. Alan, we teach you how to get your own list though. So you don't need that. It's certainly a lot easier. And Jeff actually got those lists himself. So it's surplusfundslist.com. Having said that, we teach you how to get your own list. So mostly free online, or you can even request them. That's in the ebook as well from counties that don't publish them online. But it is very easy to do. As far as being worked over, if you're going to do this on your own, you're going to run into competition anywhere. The way we do it, we hire attorneys and we use a structured buyout. I give 10% of the gross amount held by the court to the claimant within 10 business days after they sign my agreement, 2 weeks. And so I don't really have any competition. Nobody else is doing that, right? Nobody else is crazy enough to do that, as they would say. But of course, we have the attorney during that 10-day period double check that there aren't IRS tax liens that we couldn't see, and there's no current claims on the money. So we don't have a problem doing it. We've been doing this a long time. I kind of went down a rabbit hole on you. Alan, is there a program people use to put all documents onto one attachment? Alan, did you buy it? Because in the support section, I believe that Jeff actually put an example in there of how to merge files. It's not hard to do. Rita, I've had your program for almost 4 years. I just can't get started. A lot of people do. My life comes up, Rita. I understand that. Can I still work it and not have to purchase again? Absolutely, Rita. There's not a deadline on when you work it. Obviously, we will check your purchase, especially since it's been so long since you made it, before providing any support or anything else. And that won't take any real time. But yeah, you can. There's not a deadline on the program. There's no monthly fee. It's a one-time cost. Angela, hi, Sean. I need a good CRM and a good program for skip tracing. I spoke to Randy and I still can't find out how he charges monthly. Are there any good ones reasonably priced out there? How he charges monthly? Ask him. Ask Randy what their charge, how they charge you for that. He's got special deals just for you guys over at Microbilt, Microbilt. Randy Mosteller, call there and ask for him. Say Sean Bougie or the results team told you to give him a call, and he'll give you a special deal that he's cooked up for you guys. You just ask him and he'll tell you how they charge. I've never had anybody say that. I'm not being smart aleck. I just don't understand the question. Okay, Alan says he's going to look for it. That's great. He was talking about merging documents. A good CRM though, Angela, I didn't answer that part. And guys, there's a lot of people that have come in late here. Definitely do the file download that you see in front of you. A good CRM, there's a bunch of them out there, Angela. We typically don't recommend CRMs because there's so many new ones. There's also been a lot of those that have gone out of business. There's some great programs out there. There's some really cheap, great CRMs, okay? Josh, if I put full-time effort into your panning program, 8 hours a day, 6 days a week, can I realistically get at least 2 contracts a month? Maybe that's not something that can be promised, but I'm still curious if that sounds realistic. Very few people put that much time into it, Josh. Most people are doing this as a side hustle. What I will say is, with the panning, just so you guys understand, you have to estimate. You have to estimate the surplus funds. We teach you how to do that. And there's some tips and tricks. We've had people try to buy lists from VAs online that sell mortgage overage lists from states that are non-judicial, meaning attorneys handle it all. And they're all bogus, crappy lists. You've got to know how to estimate that correctly. I bring that up, Josh, because this is with the panning, you're creating your own list, and there's a lot less competition in that. And we pay 40% in that. So it's a no-brainer. But in some areas, you need to follow the foreclosure throughout the process a little bit, okay? Simply because you need to have, besides some other variables, opening bid and final sales price, okay? And sometimes the opening bid disappears when you have final sales price. So you've got to kind of follow it along throughout the process. So it might take a little while to generate the list, make your own list for that, depending on where you're working and whether or not you want to use third-party sites to check things. But if you put that kind of time into it, I think it'd be realistic to get 2 contracts a month. I've got people right now that are doing that with the panning system. But again, there's some work involved with it. And there is a little bit of a timing thing there in that you may have to follow it as it goes. What most people do is they'll pick up the panning for the surplus funds, and then they'll also add on the national surplus, because it's kind of neat. With the national surplus, you're going after surplus funds where the list is actually created and you can get a hold of it, and you're working that list. And of course, you can check our active files list against that, right, to make sure you're not trying to research something we already have if you want to partner with us. But they like having both. That way, while they're creating their list as they're going, it takes a little while to get your pipeline going, right? While they're creating their list as they're going with the panning system, they also have the national where they can jump in immediately and work off of lists that the counties provide. Hey, Sean, what happens if we turn in research and some of the info is incorrect or missing? Jalen, we get in touch with you and we say, hey, here's what you did incorrectly. Okay. Obviously, you can always use the email-based support system, guys, if you bought and beforehand if you have questions. But use that example file and make sure your file looks like that. But if there's an issue, we're going to kick it back and go, hey, you forgot to do this. You didn't fill out the conclusion page. Please fix that and resubmit the file in its entirety, and we'll take it from there. We'll tell you what's wrong. Otherwise, it'll be accepted. If it is accepted, guys, if you don't get, it's not kicked back for some reason, it's accepted. It'll show up on the list within a couple of days. You'll be able to see it on the list, and it'll be under your name. And how much is your percentage? So know what the 8 or 16 is part of. So it's not like that, and that's on gross. $50,000 retrieval. This isn't on net, guys. $50,000 retrieval. You're using a national system where all you do is get a list and research debt. 8% of 50 is $4,000. If it is a $50,000 retrieval and you use the Premier 16, where you also have to call them just to make sure you have the right person and will speak to us. If it's that program, it's 16% of $50,000, $8,000. Now, to answer your question, we pay the claimants typically anywhere from 60 to 70%, and our attorneys run us 5 to 10. So you're getting a very large portion of the total. Very large portion. I've had people go, oh my gosh, that's not enough. Well, I'm paying the claimant 60 to 70% and an attorney 5 to 10. That's a good cut. You guys are making anywhere from 25 to 40% of what we're come here. 25 to 40% of what we have coming in as our net. But it's all on gross, guys, 8% or 16% of the gross. Also, what is a realistic figure? This is Jalen, for someone willing to dedicate 8 hours into the National Surplus Funds program. Jalen, I don't know how fast you work, okay? For some people, 8 hours could be 8 files. They're just really super slow. For others, 8 hours might be 32, because once you get good, you should really be able to research a file in about 15 minutes. So I'm not ignoring your question. I don't have an answer for that. Angela, please tell me the name of one CRM so I can purchase it. I promise I won't blame you if it's bad. Okay, best CRM you can get out there, Salesforce, extremely expensive, but nobody's ever complained about it. And it has built-in marketing options with it. Unbelievable platform. You can customize the snot out of it. Salesforce. Troy, in the hybrid program, why doesn't the bankruptcy court pay their own staff to find the funds instead of paying for a finder 25%? Good question, Troy. Here's the deal. In bankruptcy, when somebody goes into bankruptcy, that is not recorded 99% of the time at the county level. So the bankruptcy court is never told that particular property, the person that owns that property, they're never told that it went into foreclosure and surplus funds was created, okay? They're not listed on the people who might have a priority or any type of an interest in the property. There's no way for them to do it, and they do not have the time. Guys, not every property, this is something, Troy, I'm not saying that you're thinking this, okay? But a lot of people do. Oh my God, just check every property. There's always going to be a surplus. No, there's not. These guys might have, depending on where it is, the regional area, how long the people had been and had the mortgage, a million factors. Did they refinance it? And they're actually underwater a little bit right now. They might have to look at 10, 15 files before they found even 20 files, maybe even more, before they found one that created surplus. They're not going to do that. They don't know that the money's there. They don't know the person even went into foreclosure, honestly, because they weren't notified. And it's there. The bankruptcy is not recorded at the county level, so the county's not going to notify them. So it's just a fantastic program. Now, does everybody go into bankruptcy that goes into foreclosure? Absolutely not. But the beauty of the hybrid program is what you do is when you find surplus, if you can't find the people or they don't want to work with you or there's too much debt, you look up to see if they also went into bankruptcy. If they went into bankruptcy, okay, typically 2 years before, up to 2 years after the sale, 2 years before, up to 2 years after the sale, if they did go into bankruptcy, you can contact the bankruptcy court, tell them you know where there's money. It's not their money. They don't care. And they will give you a 25% referral just for telling them where the money is. I have noticed some judicial sales titles list an LLC as owner as well as LLC owner names. The mortgages just list the LLC. I know that we cannot turn in files that are LLC, but I found it interesting that this info is readily listed. Would allowing LLCs with owner names to be something that can change in the future? Thanks. Probably not right now, Carol. There's a lot of things with LLCs. So LLCs, a lot of people think that they're just a different variant of a corporation. They kind of are, but they're also kind of a membership deal. The way it's kind of odd. And by the way, it's a really crappy. A lot of people go, oh, get an LLC if you're getting into this business. No, get a Chapter S, a Chapter S corporation. But having said that, I doubt we're going to do that. Just we haven't had a lot of success with LLCs. Ann says that makes sense. Thank you, Kelly Greer. What is the Zombie Business Reviver? Okay. By the way, guys, download that file. Okay? It should be an overview of all the programs. Also, there'll be a link on there to the page, and there's another download there, again, that has a breakdown of all the programs. Zombie Business Revivers, if you're working, we don't work businesses. Anyway, we teach you how to do that. It's really easy to do. If a business owned the property prior to the foreclosure, or if you're even flipping, if a business owns a property and they went out of business and you're trying to buy it before the foreclosure, either way, we teach you how to get that for pennies on the dollar if it's gone out of business. Okay, you can literally get it. Hey man, I want to buy your Acme Pest Control Company. I'll give you $500. I just want the name, but of course you're selling me the company. You go online, you reactivate the company. Now you are the owner of the company. You are due the surplus funds. It's really smooth workaround, guys, and you take it from there. Sorry, the old lady here is giving the puppy rough time. Yeah, Jeff says if the owner at the time of the sale is announced, we can't take it. Carol says, thanks, Jeff. CJ, how long are the surplus funds good for after the sale? CJ, major difference state to state. Literally, it's completely up to the state. And even then, sometimes there's a state statute, state law that reads one way and the counties actually interpret it a different way from county to county. So I don't have a good answer for you there. Typically, it's at least a couple of years. North Carolina is in perpetuity. There's more than one state that's in perpetuity, meaning forever, but it depends on the state. Good question, CJ. I wish I had it's just different from state to state. Eric, Sean, if the county does not have a website, I've never seen that, but can provide all deed, mortgagee, and other information, is this a file that I can turn in? So Eric, what you're going to need is to be able to access the county tax assessor site, okay, or tax collector site. And you're also going to need to access the registered deeds department to research that. If you've got those two things, that's fine. Just so you know, never seen a county without a website. Never. I've been doing this over 20 years, so that shouldn't be an issue. Broadcast won't play, just keeps spinning, saying it's trying to connect, Lisa. Shut down something else that's on in your house. If there's a gamer that's gaming right now, that could affect you. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not having that from other people. Kelly, okay, this is an add-on course I see. I don't know what you're talking about, Kelly. I'm like 10 questions later, but as long as it's on there, sure. Lisa, can you send me a replay? Actually, Lisa, you'll be able to access, should send you an email right after it's, a couple hours after this is over, and you'll be able to access the replay. If not, go to our YouTube channel, Surplus Funds Rich is all one word. Go there, and you'll be able to find replays on there. And typically, like this one will probably be up by tomorrow, late morning, maybe early afternoon. Thank you very much. Okay, hey CJ, you got it, guys. I don't typically speak shorthand. I'm too old for that, but I figured that one out. Angela, which are the best states to work surplus funds, mortgages, and taxes? Angela, the only state that we don't work is Colorado. They're kind of at a witch hunt out there, and can't remember if it's Washington or Oregon, but I think it's Colorado too. Colorado, and then Florida is a different program for us. Florida is a different program because the statutes are so different in that state. So that's only available in bundles if you want to work Florida. Other than that, we've had them from pretty much everywhere at this point. Alaska has boroughs instead of counties. Louisiana has parishes. We've worked everything. Hasha, you said there were 3 files that had checks. Any chance one of ours came up? It was listed on the last board update. Fingers crossed. Hold on. One of the guys was Randy Davis, who was a Texas file. Then there was Pete, last name P-E. I've got the 2 files right here because I know I'm going to be sending checks out soon. They're always pink when they're under contract. The other one is Larry, Pete, P-E-T-E. And then there's a Milton and another name, Pratt, P-R-A-T-T. Pratt is, I don't have the Randy Davis file on me. That's in the office right now. And that one may be coming in a little bit later. I'm picking these checks up hopefully from the attorney tomorrow. It should clear the trust account at that point. Hey, congratulations, Pete R. Pratt is yours. That's a nice one, 40 grand. And then congratulations to, thanks for asking, Hasha. I've got them right in front of me. I told you I would. All right. Ken H., your Pete file is coming in. I would assume by Wednesday I'll be paying these out because now I got to pick up the checks. Deposit artist got to clear our account. And then I send out all the payments to the claimants and to you guys. Last one's Randy Davis. That was a Texas file. All right, Steve Armstrong. I purchased the National and Premier 16. I've been finding lists, but having difficulty finding any liens against the property. Any other sources such as PACE or no? Steve, use the Register of Deeds Department. Here's the thing that I need to, I am so glad you asked this question. People freak out, okay, because they go in and they're checking debt and they're like, oh my God, I can't find debt. What's wrong? Well, 9 times out of 10, well, not 9 times out of 10. I'd probably say a solid 75% of the time, especially with tax sales where only taxes were owed and it's still going into foreclosure, they inherited the property. There is no debt. There's a ton of property that doesn't have any debt on it. If you opened up the Register of Deeds page and used the system we taught you to check for all debt against that property, and all you found were the deeds transferring ownership prior to the sale and the one that transferred it at the time of the sale, if that's the case, there wasn't any debt against property. There's not always debt against property. Good question. I get that a lot. That's the only reason I brought that up is people go, oh my God, I'm having so much trouble because I can't find any debt. Because there is none, especially in a tax sale, guys. Think about it. In a tax sale, the taxes are foreclosing. If there had been a mortgage against that property, most of the time, okay, you always have to check because there might have been a home equity line of credit, a HELOC loan against it. If that was the case, then it wouldn't, they're not going to foreclose before the taxes usually. But if there was a mortgage, the mortgage company, when they charge you a payment, your payments are principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Taxes, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So they've already got that prepaid in a year in advance. So they're going to foreclose before the tax people are if there is a mortgage there 90% of the time. So it's okay to find stuff that doesn't have debt against it. CJ say, which state does it for you? I just don't have an issue with any states. I think California has some issues that I don't like. In the tax sale arena in California, you have to wait a year before they'll review any claims against the surplus. That's kind of a bummer to me. Josh, can you walk us through the unique benefits of the Diamond compared to the other options? Is it a realistic goal to be able to work most of those programs if you buy them in the bundle? Or is it more of a security blanket to have more programs to fall on in case some programs just aren't working out? Well, they all work, Josh, but here's the deal. I always tell people this. First of all, the Diamond's kind of a no-brainer bundle to buy, right? Because if you put it out it's barely over $100 per book, and most of the books are $400 or more if you were to buy them by themselves. The National Surplus is $697 by itself. The Panning, which we're only going to sell 3 for this sale, this Black Friday sale, and it'll be gone probably Friday. That one's $1197 just by itself, right? So it's obviously a phenomenal deal. The 50-50, that thing's worth at least $1,000. So those 3 programs alone are worth more than the purchase price. There's 20 or more programs in it, right? I always tell people, though, it is a lot of information. Pick 2 programs you want to start with, start working those. Once you get those down, you're not going to be able to read all the books. You're just not going to be able to read it all and learn it all. Once you get those two down, move on to the other ones. You've got the Zombie Business Reviver in there. If the business owned it, you want to pursue it, you can get that. You can get the deal for next to nothing and work it on your own. Hybrid is in there, where if there's too much debt against it or the people died, heck, you can contact the bankruptcy court if they went into bankruptcy 2 years before or after. During that time period, the foreclosure, you can contact them and they'll give you 25% just for telling them where the money is. I mean, it's just a ridiculously good bundle. So yeah, I would start with a couple though. I mean, I'm not going to say, oh yeah, you need to learn it all. No, start with a couple and then apply the rest as you go, because it does build on itself. It's like any other type of learning. It builds on itself. But you're going to kick yourself if you don't get the biggest bundle that you can, just because it's great to have alternatives in there. Angela, which state is best to work unclaimed surplus funds? So Angela, which are the best states? That's the second time you've asked that. Okay. Again, we haven't an issue with any state. I just brought up there is some issues. There are some issues with California, especially with the delay in being able to even have a claim looked at of a year after the foreclosure was finalized and the deed was recorded. That's kind of a big deal and a downer. You can't get a list in North Carolina, so that only works with the panning program. Florida is a separate program because the state statutes are so very different down there. It's only available in bundles. Other than that, just work the state. I have found most of your opportunities is West, Midwest, and also Southeast. The reason is the Northeast, most people are really financially conservative, extremely, although we're starting Benjamin's in here tonight. My gosh, you've been certainly doing well in a state up there. I try not to give people's honey holes away. But most of the time, the Northeast isn't as productive as far as having as much opportunity, and that's because they're more financially conservative up there. Less people get into trouble. That's what I'm trying to say. The other thing, here's your big nugget here for this evening. People try to just go after huge metro statistical areas, MSAs, the larger cities. Don't get caught up in that. Don't try to just go after the really big counties, right? Wherever you get a list, get it. And some of those small counties have a lot of nuggets in them. So don't get caught up in, I'm just going to work, like for instance, I'm in North Carolina. I'm just going to work Mecklenburg County, that's Charlotte, and Raleigh-Durham. I'm just going to work those two areas in the state because of the largest metro statistical areas. Well, there's another 96 freaking counties in the state. Don't get caught up and just work in the bigger states, the bigger counties, I should say. I found an open-end estate mortgage from back in 91 in my case, but it did not release. Do I still need to assume that there's still a debt? Hey, Eric, no release, there's debt. Sorry, guys, but just because that's 33 years old and most mortgages, not all, are 30 years, that doesn't mean it's released. They could have stopped paying on it and it just never foreclosed. You've got to assume it's still owed. Angela, I purchased your Pro package. I just read through it. What is it that I need to do exactly? Please explain it. You need to read it again, Angela. It tells you what to do. And also click the link in it. It's like on page 2 or 3 to the resources page. There's more submission information in there. Mainly read it twice at least for comprehension in depth, and then do the file example because you wouldn't be asking me this question if you did that. Kelly Greer, what is your approximate average of number of closings out of 100 bid submitted deals with the National Surplus Funds Program? It depends, Kelly. I get, depending on the state, I get 20 to 30% of them have died. We still will work estates, but they're more difficult. You find probably 15% people are still in the win. We hit them twice initially and then later just to make sure they might have opened up a new account. Now we can find them. Most of them have turned off their cell phones or lost their cell phone or won't pick up anymore. So it depends on a lot of variables, including the area. Guys, I did on YouTube, if you go to YouTube, our channel on YouTube is Surplus Funds Riches, all one word. I did a really good overview of conversion, a video on that goes into all the different variables you have to look at. And then I also did a couple actually of really good, sorry, I'm checking something here, really good videos on what states to work, one, and then an updated one. Question from Fanny, guys, please don't use Q&A. When is the exact Black Friday sale? Black Friday starts at 10 a.m. Eastern time, the 29th. It'll be over on Sunday. Again, I think I sent out an email where I said Monday. No, Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, it'll be over. Question from Jim, anything new on the Olds case? Send me a thing, Jim, on that. I thought I answered a recent inquiry from you on that. I've seen a sale has happened sub to redemption, but the redemption never gets filed. Does the new owner still have ownership without redemption? It depends on the area, Jim. Redemption, post-sale redemption, there are some states that allow up to a year for the owner that was foreclosed upon to come back and go, oopsie, I never got notice, and I'd like to redeem it now. So it depends on the state. Josh says, great advice. If I got the Diamond Bundle, which 2 programs to start would you say have the most earning potential for someone new to surplus funds recovery? Again, I think they all work really, really well, Josh. So what I would do in the Diamond is I would start with 2 programs. One, and neither one of them requires you to make calls, okay? And they pay extremely well. The National Surplus Funds Program in there, and I would also work the panning for hidden surplus funds to start. And then I would move into the Premier 16, the Surplus 50/50. It's kind of designed to allow you to take baby steps too, because there's so many different programs in there. The second set of programs, the Surplus 50/50 and the Premier 16, requires you call, which get in touch with them, which means call and mail, in addition to researching debt, but it pays more as a result. So I would start with national, just get your feet wet, national surplus and panning for hidden surplus funds out of the Diamond Bundle. I think that answers all the questions this evening. Man, great questions tonight, guys. And hey, I'm sorry. I apologize. I had the pups in it so much. I haven't been able to trust the younger one by herself, if you know what I'm saying. I very much appreciate everybody coming out. Hope to see you guys at the sale, November 29th, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern through the first Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern, at the website surplusfundsriches.net. And guys, click on products, put your information in. There'll be a link on there on the products page that goes straight to the Black Friday sale info. Cheryl says, sweet puppies, happy Thanksgiving. Angela, which is the other next best package I should buy from you after Pro Pack? Get the gold or the diamond, whichever you can afford. Love the pup, says CJ. Donna says, thank you. Carol says, thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good night.